Hello, thank you for watching my channel today. My name's Sarah and my channel is called Your True Shelf. Today I am filming the non-fiction on Booktube tag, which was originally by Olive from A Book Olive, and I will link her original tag video down below. And so I was tagged to do this video by Jimi from Jimi Can Read. I'll also link his channel down below. And yeah, just get started with the questions. So question number one is, how much non-fiction do you read? And I would say that I read a lot of non-fiction. It's grown over time. I used to read no non-fiction really at all, and then over time it's like increased in proportion. I'd say I haven't actually counted, I'd say it's pretty close 50-50 with fiction, but it probably varies from month to month. Question two, what kind of non-fiction videos do you make or do you want to make on Booktube? Well, I don't think I really make non-fiction videos particularly. Like I did Non-Fiction November, I did a video for that, and I've done a video on books that helped me through difficult times quite early on when I started Booktube, and that one was non-fiction. But I think I could make more non-fiction videos. I guess I just don't for some reason. If that's something that you'd like to see, like different categories, like maybe like recommended memoirs or that kind of thing, or recommended, I don't know, nature writing or something like that, then I'd be happy to make that video if you just tell me in the comments if that's something that you'd like to see. Question number three, what's your favourite subgenre of non-fiction? Okay, so I have a few. So spiritual books, nature books, political histories and memoirs would be my top 4 favourite things to read. Question 4, do you have a favourite non-fiction book? Yes, I do. I have lots of books that I really love that are non-fiction, but my favourite one, because it's on my favourite books of all time list, is this one, which is The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukov, and you can see lots of tabs in here. This is a spiritual book, as it's probably apparent from the title. It's basically, so I came across Gary Zukov in the late 1990s when he used to be on Oprah as quite a regular contributor, and he talked a lot about the soul and the soul's journey, and I found him to be incredible, and I bought this book of his ages ago, years and years ago. And I've read it I've read it completely a few times, but I dip in and out to the bits with the tabs quite a lot. Like if I'm finding a certain thing difficult, then I'll go to this and look up the relevant bits. I would say this isn't really like a beginner's book for spirituality. I don't know, I think if you're not sure if you'd like it, probably watch some of his stuff first and see if you'd like it. But anyway, this is like one of my favourite books of all time, and I refer back to it a lot, and it will always be a very dear, strengthening book for me. The next question, if I can get my iPad to come back to life. Question number 5, what do you think keeps people from wanting to read more non-fiction? I think people might think it's boring, because I think when you say non-fiction, people might think like textbooks, school textbooks and that kind of stuff, and that's really not non-fiction. No, that's completely, it is non-fiction, but I mean it's not what I mean by non-fiction. So non-fiction covers like a range of interests and all different kinds of things, from from really heavy factual things to really light-hearted things, from memoirs to cookbooks to nature writing to all sorts of, to journalism, like tons of things. And I think if you aren't sure what you like, just read about something you're interested in or somebody you're interested in, or have a look on Booktube and see what other non-fiction people are reading and enjoying, and try it if it appeals to you. But it's definitely not boring. It might be as well that some people prefer non-fiction in audiobook format, so they find that they can't necessarily read a non-fiction book or they don't enjoy it as much, but they love listening to it on Audible. So it might be that you just need to try it in a different format. Question 6. Why do you like non-fiction? I'm a person who really likes learning, so I've always loved learning. I'll continue to learn for the rest of my life, and so when I'm interested in something, I want to know more about it. I want to know more about like a country I haven't visited, or a person who I look up to, or I want to learn about, say, I've read like quite a few medical memoirs because I can relate obviously with my job. I love learning about people, so I like memoirs of people who I admire. I like reading about them and their lives. I like anything which advances my spiritual journey, so that's why I love reading spiritual books. I just love learning. I love learning all sorts of stuff, and I think educating ourselves and learning is like one of the big reasons why we're here, and so I just want to soak up as much knowledge as I can. Question 7. What's a non-fiction book you read because of Booktube? Okay, so one of the best non-fiction books I've read for ages is one that I read thanks to Charlotte of Tired Mama Tries to Read. It's a book that was one of my books of the year last year. I think it was last year, not the year before. And I absolutely adored it, and it's called Waterfalls of Stars by Roseanne Alexander. This is a book about a woman and her husband who moved to Scoma Island, which is a tiny island off the west coast of Wales, where they're the only people who live there, and they're there to be the wardens of the island. And they stay there for 10 years. It's their story from getting there through the 10 years, loads of nature writing, loads all about the birds and the seals and the ocean and the landscape where they are, what it's like to be living there by themselves. It's just this amazing, beautiful book. It moved me so much, and I think about it all the time, and it's nowhere near well known enough. So if you like any of those things, like, honestly, I can't recommend the book highly enough. And that one I only found about via Booktube, so thank you so much, Charlotte. Question, whoops, hold on, iPad playing games again. Question 8. What's the best non-fiction book you've read lately? Okay, so I've mentioned this a few times recently because it's a recent book, and it is Open Book by Jessica Simpson. It's Jessica Simpson's memoir. It covers her whole life from, being a child up to present day. It's the most open-hearted, honest, warm memoir, extremely vulnerable, that I've read maybe ever. She reads the audiobook herself, so I'd highly recommend the audiobook version. It also includes some of her new music, and yeah, I just found her to be a really inner and outer beautiful person, and I definitely learned stuff from her, or from her memoir. I learned that she's completely different to how she's portrayed on TV. I think it was a really inspiring book, and I was just so impressed how much she put herself on the line and didn't hold back in terms of anything. She was just honest and open, and really was an open book, and I'd really recommend that one. Question 9. What are some of your non-fiction reading goals? Well, I think stuff that I feel benefits my life in some way. So when I read fiction, I often read kind of quite escapist fiction, and so I really love that, and it definitely serves a purpose, and it definitely is good for my mind to do that, but it doesn't necessarily advance me as a person in any way. And I'm not saying that books need to do that all the time or for everybody, but I like books as well that challenge me and teach me and advance me in life. And so reading enough of those books, I think, is the thing for me. Like something like, for instance, just pull off my shelf, something like this. This is The Wisdom of Sundays by Oprah. This is a compilation of Super Soul Sunday interviews that she's done, and Super Soul is like one of my best things ever. And this is like a beautiful book here as well. It's cloth bound, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I have no idea, I rushed out and got it as soon as I could, and I haven't read it yet, and I have no idea why. But something like this will definitely make me like put loads of tabs in and refer back. So I think to read more books along those lines, I'm just looking at my non-fiction shelves, because I separate my fiction and non-fiction, and I can see loads of things that I know are going to be really inspiring, and I think I need to like you know, just sometimes not get carried away with like reading loads of easier stuff and not going in deep enough with my reading. I guess that's probably my non-fiction goal. So number 10, what is your advice for incorporating more non-fiction into your reading diet? So I guess it's just what I've said earlier, really, like read stuff you're interested in. If you are not interested in like wartime Britain, don't go and pick up a non-fiction book about it, because you won't enjoy it. If you're interested in like crafts or like politics or feminism or like some like jazz or something, you know, just find something that's that looks interesting to you, like a memoir or a book that's, you know, look on for Goodreads, what's the best book, what's the best feminist non-fiction I can read, what's the best books about a certain time of history or a certain type of art, or whatever it is that you're interested in. Then just look, and there'll be a list of books, and look on Booktube, just type it into YouTube, and there'll be stuff that comes up, and you'll be able to get some good recommendations, and just start and, like I say, see what format suits you best, and just go for it. If you don't like it, try something else. But I think just don't forget it exists. Have a browse in the bookshops, go to sections like the travel section or whatever it is that makes you feel inspired, and just go there and have a look and pick something up and see. That's my advice. And then the bonus question, give some recommendations of non-fiction Booktube channels that you love. So I should have looked through my list in advance, but off the top of my head, definitely Charlotte of Tired Mama's Choice to Read. She reads loads of non-fiction, and it's always ones that I want to add to my list. She reads really interesting books. She reads quite a lot of diverse and feminist books as well, so definitely recommend hers. If you like sort of spiritual type books, I would suggest looking at Pastory Time, which is Sean and Bert's channel, because they have a lot of those kind of books, and I'm always adding them onto my wish list as well. And then Jimi Can Read, who who tagged me in this tag. He reads loads of sort of like social commentaries and political books, and he always reads like really interesting stuff, and again, he speaks about it in a really intelligent way, which sort of draws you in to wanting to read it. Oh, and finally, one I mustn't forget, Ghost Reader. He reads really interesting books, and he gives really good sort of 8 to 10 minute reviews of the books he reads. He reads a lot of non-fiction, a lot of sort of social and political histories again. He reads just like really diversely, and I love his channel, and so yeah, definitely check out his channel as well. I think that's probably the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So I hope you've enjoyed this tag. If you'd like to do this video and you read non-fiction, please consider yourself tagged. I'd love to hear some recommendations from you. And if you'd like to see some more non-fiction videos, then please let me know in the comments, and I will endeavour to do so. I hope you're having a lovely week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!